Good everyone, and welcome to this video. And today we have an updated premium review on the SAV.20.12.48. This is a Swedish autoloading tank destroyer that was added as, well, it was originally a starter, well, I say a starter, what do they call it? An early access pack, and this was obviously removed once the Swedes became more and more popular. And then eventually this thing came back as a GE vehicle, and now it comes around once in a blue moon for 1,300 golden eagles. Before we begin though, in the description below there's a Hangar section overview timestamp as well as the gameplay timestamp. The gameplay doesn't have the highest number of kills, but it's the fact that it's a full up tier and it shows that this tank can still do some work in a full up tier as long as you play cautiously and make account of planes. Anyway, so this tank, as I said, it's one of the more unique premium tanks that you can own. And it is definitely something where you have that sense of it's strong, but obviously you do have to take into account a few things. Which is why we're going to stop more. I'm not really going to talk too much about the armor, it's mainly the gun, but obviously I will bring up the armor and the mobility of this thing. So, let's get into it. So, the armor of this vehicle is one of its weak points. But you're expecting that. It's got an autoloader, it's going to have some sort of detriment. The frontal armour is just 30mm thick, which on the upper parts it's only 15. You'll see in the gameplay I'm being very mindful of planes as well, as this thing is open top. But the main thing is that I'm not taking risks in this thing, as a lot of other SAV players do. They don't take risks if they don't have to, because this thing dies to anything. I was very lucky to bounce a Cheeto round during the gameplay, which you'll see. And it's the fact that this thing just has no armour, and whilst I was at a steep angle, had it been a Russian gun that had shot at me, I would have been dead. And the simple fact is, that's what you have to play this thing like in a full up tier, and most of your matches anyway, because this thing is an ambusher, that's what it best is for. But anyway, you'll also notice the little Viking helmet, because if I don't put a Viking helmet on a Swedish tank destroyer, I don't think it's appropriate. But anyway, side armor is just 15mm thick, so you can be penned by 50 cals. Same with the rear, and of course the top is only 10mm thick. So you are very vulnerable to aircraft, and even small artillery shells will easily deal with you. High explosive rounds are also a danger to you, so you do have to take that into account. So, if this thing has no armour, no real roof, and has an autoloader, surely the gun has got to be brand spanking strong. And on paper it is. It has a 6-stage ammo stowage, automatic loading, 1.2 second reload. Obviously, your first shot and then the next few after will be 1.2 seconds. After that, your crew will have to manually reload this thing, which means putting it in the magazine and then putting it in the tank. So it will take a lot longer, so you do have to take into account your magazine. I know it's not technically a magazine or a belt/mag fed, but it's the best way to think about it. Think about it like playing a Panzer II. You've got to fire those rounds off, then you've got to wait 7 seconds. It's a bit worse than that, obviously, but you see my point. So, as I say, the mechanized ammo rack is very useful and is very, very strong. And as you can imagine, this gun can really spit out shells. And with the mobility this thing has, being 400 horsepower at just 20 tons, you'll see in the gameplay this thing is very fast and very dangerous, but you do have to consider its downsides. And as you can see, the ammunition is all over the back of the vehicle, which, if you get hit in this thing, you're probably not surviving. And if you are, you're barely surviving. This vehicle is very fragile and must be played carefully, but it does have a very good reverse rate, which you'll see in the gameplay that does help me out. And of course, with the engine power, this thing can really shift. I'm able to cover such short distance in the gameplay in such a short space of time with just a bit of driving. This thing is very quick. So what about that gun then? So obviously, I've mentioned the gun and that it does have a couple of things wrong with it, but nothing really to write home about. The gun itself has incredible explosive mass, to the point where you can even nuke a KV-2 in a single shot. Assuming you pen it, of course. The penetration is really low for the caliber of the gun, and it is something to consider in an up tier, as you'll see in the gameplay. But the fact is, if you pen something with this thing, which you can pen quite a few targets at your BR, this thing will absolutely nuke it. There's no sugarcoating it. I fired a quick reaction shot on a KV2 where I was kind of just rushing the shot, and it penned the KV2 and blew it to pieces. This thing can absolutely blow targets to smithereens, and it will absolutely do that if it pens. Knowing weak spots on an enemy vehicle or armor protection overall is really key to make this thing work in an up tier. In a down tier, you don't have to worry too much. It's mainly Shermans that you have to worry about. But a lot of them either are the M4A1, which has the curved armor on the sides, which you can easily penetrate, or it's like the standard M4, as I call it, where it's extra driver armor, which won't save it from this thing unless it's angled. Now, one other thing to consider is the high explosive round. You don't have a HE, well, you don't have a machine gun. You don't really have anything to fight back with them. And funnily enough, you don't have to reload a fresh magazine just to put in HE. You can just switch to HE, fire the shell that's in the breach, and then you'll be in HE. I don't know why it's that way. And plus, if they ever changed it, it would be nerfing the hell out of this thing. But you get my point. Just only carry a few of these. You don't need them all that often, but it's nice to have them. One other thing as well is you do get a few smoke grenades, which is very important and really helps this thing out. And yeah, this thing definitely needs that. And obviously, if you're changing position, I would heavily recommend using those smoke grenades. They are over here on the right-hand side of the vehicle. They do all fire at the same time. And just overall, this thing can change position very quickly if it needs to. One other point to note is the negative 10 degrees of gun depression, the great targeting speed as well for its limited firing arc, and the vertical guidance of 25. This thing can lob shots at long distance, but obviously if you're lobbing AP rounds, just remember you won't always pen your targets, and against Russian tanks, you will mostly struggle, but if you know where to shoot them, you'll nuke them. Let's put it that way. As I say though, I definitely think this tank is worth the pickup. Obviously, just bear in mind this thing is very weak to planes, and obviously up tiers can be a little bit of a chore on it, but once you get that sorted, and once you get down to earth with it, this thing is an absolute monster. Anyway, I'm going to hand you over to the gameplay now. I hope you enjoyed seeing the SAV.20.12.48 get its updated proven review, and I will see you all on the next one. I'm going to stop right here and wait for a little bit. It's been a while since I've actually played this tank. That's friendly. I don't really get to, play this thing much. Me, personally, I don't mind this thing, but, I personally would, take something a bit more versatile in an up tier, but, well, I also kind of wanted to get an up tier match for this thing's review, or re-review. Mostly because this thing does struggle in an up tier. It's not unusable in an up tier, but, it definitely does struggle. They're capping B. Boom! That's what this gun can do.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
I hear an enemy getting close. Not sure how close he is though.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
Oh shit! I would push, but that thing's got a good reload. Yeah, teammate got it. The armor on this thing actually bounced that, but to be fair, it's at such a steep angle. And Japanese tanks are not exactly known for their angled penetration. Come on. Stick your head out.
Attention to the
Oh
map.
no, I hear something behind me as well. I'm just gonna wait for this guy on Bravo, because... Well, I'm not gonna go anywhere, am I?
Designated grid square.
Oh, fucking hell. Thank God that penned. My God, I was lucky there. Oh, Brad trouser moment. Oh, hello, little fella. I'm sorry, that was just overkill.
Attention to the designated grid square.
Okay. This is where it gets scary for this thing, because... Oh, hold on. Okay, that bounced. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Thankfully, this thing's got a good reverse gear. Okay, kill assist on him. I didn't even pen the tank. Okay, teammates got that side covered. Good. Like I said, for the price this thing offers, it is very versatile, but you've got to be careful in the up tiers. Don't get me wrong, this thing will pen some of the stuff that you meet in an up tier, but don't expect it to be as consistent as if it's a down tier or around that BR. Oh, hold on. Okay, let's move. Plus I can clear some of these obstacles in case I need to reverse. See, because of all the planes in the area, you've got to play stealthily, unfortunately. There's a Tehran just round that corner, so I'm going to reverse. I think he's on the move. I don't know where he is fully. Oh, he's dead. Good. We've got to play cautiously because of all the CAS. That's the problem. CAS does limit this thing. Okay. Team's doing pretty well though, I will say that. I'm a bit too open for my liking. What the hell's he just hit? Good work, teammate. Oh, fucking hell. I'm gonna need HE for that bastard. You can push it, but, you know, you'll just go for your gun barrel. There you go. Good work, teammate. Bravo's being capped. I'm gonna spin back round. I'm not going to drop smoke, because don't need to. Like I said though, we've not had the biggest run in terms of kills, but like we don't need to. The fact is, we've supported in an up tier. We've kept the caps, we've kept Bravo safe, which is what I wanted to do, because this is very good as an ambusher. It's a solid vehicle for that. There it is. Oh, fucking hell, it's an SU. We can pen that. It's going to be tricky, though. There we go. You made it easy for us. Is it just him left? Or is there anyone else? Nope, that's it. We've done alright, though. Definitely had better games in this thing, but you don't need to have amazing games all the time in this thing. Fact is, this is a full up tier, so it was already not in our favour as it was. I'm going to go this side, and then I have a bit more cover. We've also had a good team. I mean, that Jagdpanzer 4 that was supporting us earlier on, he's on 9 kills. So, he's done pretty well for himself. He's definitely been a big help. That's the thing. Teamwork makes the dream work. I don't think we're going to get another kill before the game ends, but that's just what we have to live with, unfortunately. Quite literally. Oh, hold on a minute. Where did you just get shot from? Good work. And that's that. Not the best run in terms of kills, but doesn't need to be. It's a supportive tank in an up tier, it's got great mobility, and well, if this thing pens something, yeah, it's kind of dead. If this thing rolls around, definitely do pick it up, but of course, just be mindful that CAS is limiting to this thing, and do not overextend. This thing has no armor, its reload, whilst it is incredible, that magazine does take a while. Well, I say it's a magazine, it's not, but I'm just going to call it a mag because it's easier. The magazine does run out very quickly if you're rapid firing, and it does take a while, so do make sure to take that into consideration.